The desperate message. Captain Maya Chen stood at the viewport of the ECS Harbinger, Earth's most advanced warship, watching stars streak by as they cruised through the outer reaches of human-controlled space. The ship hummed with quiet efficiency, its true power hidden beneath an unassuming exterior. This was by design. Humanity had learned caution during its expansion into the stars. "Captain, we're receiving a transmission," Lieutenant Raj Patel announced from his communications station. "It's unusual, encrypted using an old Earth military protocol." Chen turned away from the viewport, her expression composed despite the unexpected news. "Origin? The Vega Outpost Colony, Captain. Specifically, New Terra. It's coming through fragmented, but it's definitely a distress signal." The bridge fell silent. New Terra was Earth's farthest colony, established only 8 years ago on the edge of what humans called the Vega Expanse. The region was rich in resources, but also bordered territories claimed by several alien civilizations, none particularly friendly to human expansion. "Put it through, Lieutenant." The main display flickered, showing a human face distorted by static. The man wore a colonial administrator's uniform, though it was torn and stained. Behind him, emergency lights flashed, and smoke clouded the air. "Under attack. Unknown species." The transmission cut in and out. "Overwhelmed defenses. Need immediate." More static. They came without warning. Technology beyond. The man's face contorted with urgency. "Please, if anyone receives this, Earth Command. We need the Harbinger." The transmission cut out completely, leaving the bridge in tense silence. Commander Eliza Vaughn, Chen's executive officer, stepped forward. "The Harbinger. They asked for us specifically." Chen's eyes narrowed. "That's classified information. Very few outside Earth Command know this ship even exists, let alone its name or capabilities." The Harbinger wasn't just Earth's flagship, it was humanity's best-kept secret. On the outside, it resembled a standard exploration vessel with minimal armaments. In reality, it housed weapons systems and defensive capabilities years beyond what humanity publicly acknowledged possessing. "How old is this transmission?" Chen asked. Patel's fingers danced over his console. "Based on signal degradation. Approximately 72 hours, Captain." Chen turned to her tactical officer. "Lieutenant Commander Garcia, what's our ETA to New Terra at maximum speed?" Garcia calculated swiftly. 4 days, 17 hours, Captain. But that route would take us through the Krell Expanse, which the Syrax Dominion claims as their territory, Vaughn added. The Syrax were a territorial species known for their aggressive stance toward any unauthorized vessels in their space. Chen nodded, her decision already made. "Plot the course. We'll take the direct route." "Captain," Vaughn lowered her voice, "crossing Syrax space could be interpreted as an act of war. So could ignoring a distress call from our most vulnerable colony," Chen replied. "Besides, the Harbinger was built for situations exactly like this. It's time to see if all those years of secrecy and development were worth it." Chen addressed the bridge crew. "All stations, prepare for emergency jump to New Terra. Communications, send our flight plan to Earth Command, but encrypt it using Protocol Obsidian." As the crew scrambled to fulfill their orders, Chen returned to the viewport. The Harbinger had been her command for 3 years, but this would be its first true test in the field. Earth had maintained a policy of apparent technological mediocrity for decades, appearing less advanced than they truly were while secretly developing defenses against potential threats. The Harbinger was the culmination of that philosophy. "Preparations complete, Captain," Vaughn reported. "Ready for jump on your command." Chen took a deep breath. "Engage." The Harbinger's engines hummed as they powered up to their true capacity, and the stars outside elongated as the ship leaped into hyperspace at velocities no Earth vessel had publicly demonstrated. 3 days into their journey, deep in Syrax territory, the proximity alert blared. "Syrax patrol vessels, Captain," Garcia reported from Tactical. 3 cruiser-class ships moving to intercept. Hold course, Chen ordered. Let's see what they do. The main view screen showed 3 predatory-looking vessels approaching. The Syrex ships were known for their distinctive arrowhead design, plated with blood-red armor that had earned them the nickname Crimson Sharks among human explorers. "They're hailing us," Paddle reported. On screen, the display changed to show a Syrex commander. The aliens resembled bipedal reptilians with swept-back cranial crests and scales that shimmered with iridescence under their ship's lighting. Their eyes, 3 of them arranged in a triangle pattern, focused intently on Chen. "Human vessel," the Syrex commander's translator rendered his clicking speech into stilted English. "You violate Dominion space. Halt your advance immediately or face destruction." Chen maintained a neutral expression. "Syrex vessel, this is Captain Maya Chen of the Earth Command Ship Harbinger. We are responding to a distress call from a human colony and request emergency passage through your territory." The Syrex commander's central eye narrowed. "No exceptions. Your primitive vessel will submit to boarding and inspection, or you will be fired upon." Primitive vessel. If only they knew. Chen had been briefed on the Syrex. They were technologically advanced but arrogant, believing themselves superior to most species they encountered. They had cataloged human technology years ago and dismissed humanity as a minor power. "I'm afraid we cannot comply," Chen responded. "Our mission is time-sensitive. I assure you our passage will be brief, and we mean no disrespect to the Dominion." "Then you have chosen destruction." The Syrex commander cut the transmission. "They're charging weapons," Garcia reported, his voice steady despite the threat. Chen exchanged glances with Vaughn. This moment had always been inevitable. The question of whether to reveal Earth's true capabilities when threatened. Tactical. Activate defense systems. Protocol Shadow. Keep our offensive systems masked for now. Garcia's fingers flew across his console. Defense systems online, Captain. The Syrex cruisers fired in unison, energy beams lancing toward the Harbinger. Instead of impacting the ship's hull, the beams hit an invisible barrier 2 meters out, their energy dissipating in ripples of blue light. "Shields holding at 100%, Garcia reported, a hint of satisfaction in his voice. "No damage." On the view screen, they could see the Syrex vessels adjusting their positions, clearly surprised by the ineffectiveness of their attack. "They're hailing us again," Paddle said. Chen nodded. On screen, the Syrex commander appeared, his crest extended in what humans had learned was a sign of agitation. "Explanations. Your vessel should not have withstood that barrage. Perhaps your intelligence on Earth technology is outdated," Chen replied calmly. "We have no wish for conflict, Commander. Allow us passage, and we'll be out of your territory within 24 hours. The Syrex commander's scales flushed darker. "Impossible. You will surrender." "Captain," Garcia interrupted, "they're targeting us with their main cannons." Chen sighed. "It seems a demonstration is in order. Target their weapons systems only, non-destructive disable." "Targeting," Garcia confirmed. "Ready on your mark." The Syrex commander was still speaking, threats pouring from his translator, when Chen made a cutting motion across her throat. Paddle ended the transmission. Fire. From concealed ports along the Harbinger's hull, a swarm of microdrones launched, too small and fast to be tracked by Syrex sensors. They crossed the space between the vessels in seconds, attaching to specific points on the Syrex ship's hulls. Precision electromagnetic pulses disabled the cruiser's weapon systems without causing catastrophic damage. "Direct hits," Garcia reported. "Their weapons are offline." "Re-establish communication," Chen ordered. When the Syrex commander appeared again, his composure had vanished entirely. His crew could be seen frantically working at their stations in the background. "What have you done?" he demanded. "How did you?" "As I said," Chen interrupted, "your intelligence on our capabilities is outdated. Your weapons systems are temporarily disabled. They'll reset in approximately 6 hours, long after we've left your territory. The commander's crest flattened slightly. The Dominion will not forget this. Neither will Earth, Chen replied. But perhaps next time, we can meet diplomatically rather than through weapons fire. Harbinger out. As the transmission ended, Chen turned to her crew. Resume course to New Terra, maximum speed. Captain, Vaughn approached, keeping her voice low. We've now revealed some of our technological capabilities. Earth Command's policy was to hide our strength until absolutely necessary. Chen finished. This qualified as necessary, Commander. Besides, we only showed them our defensive capabilities and the microdrones. The Harbinger still has plenty of surprises left. Vaughn nodded, conceding the point. The Serex will spread word of this encounter. Good, Chen said, returning to her command chair. Maybe it will make others think twice before attacking human ships or colonies. As the Harbinger continued its journey toward New Terra, Chen reviewed the fragmented distress message again. The colony had asked for the Harbinger specifically, which meant someone had leaked classified information. Or perhaps, more worryingly, whoever was attacking New Terra had intelligence on Earth's military capabilities that even the Serex lacked. Update our arrival time to New Terra, Chen ordered. At current speed, we'll reach the colony in 31 hours, the navigation officer reported. Chen nodded grimly. Let's hope we're not too late. The next day passed in tense preparation as the crew readied for whatever awaited them at New Terra. Combat teams drilled, medics prepared emergency protocols, and engineers fine-tuned the ship's systems. Chen spent hours reviewing the limited intelligence they had on the Vega expanse. Several species claimed territories in the region, but none had shown open hostility toward the New Terra colony before now. Captain, Patel's voice broke through her concentration. We're picking up multiple signals ahead. Looks like a battle. Chen hurried to the bridge. On screen, the view screen showed the New Terra system in the distance. Even from afar, the signs of conflict were clear. Weapons fire, debris fields, and the unmistakable energy signatures of ships engaged in combat. Magnify, Chen ordered. The image zoomed in to show the planet New Terra, partially obscured by a cloud of ships. Unlike the elegant lines of the Serex vessels, these were bulky, asymmetrical constructions that resembled nothing in Earth's contact database. Unknown species, Garcia confirmed. I count 17 vessels of varying sizes orbiting New Terra. Energy readings suggest extremely advanced weapons technology. Any sign of colonial defenses? Chen asked, though she already suspected the answer. Garcia shook his head. Nothing active, Captain. I'm detecting the remains of what might have been defense satellites, but they've been destroyed. Life signs on the surface. Yes, Garcia replied after a moment, relief evident in his voice, concentrated in what appears to be the main colonial bunker. Approximately 3,000 signatures. Less than half the colony's reported population. The unknown vessels have detected us, Paddle reported. They're breaking orbit. 5 ships heading in our direction. Chen straightened her uniform jacket. Red alert. All hands to battle stations. She turned to her executive officer. Commander Vaughn, it seems we're about to introduce ourselves to a new species. Let's hope they're better at listening than the Serex. The Harbinger's hidden weapon systems came online, power flowing through circuits that had never been tested in actual combat. On the exterior, tiny changes occurred as armored plates shifted microscopically, revealing specialized weapon ports and sensor arrays previously concealed. Ready quantum missiles and drone swarms, Chen ordered. But hold fire until my command. Let's see what we're dealing with first. The alien ships approached rapidly, their unusual configuration becoming clearer as they neared. They resembled organic structures more than constructed vessels, with protrusions that looked almost like bones or coral extending from central masses. They're scanning us, Garcia reported. Very intensive scans. They're trying to penetrate our masking systems. Let them see our standard configuration for now, Chen ordered. Keep our true capabilities hidden until we need them. As the alien ships closed the distance, Paddle suddenly straightened at his console. "Captain, they're broadcasting on all frequencies. It seems to be a message in multiple languages, including English." On speakers, a harsh, grinding voice filled the bridge. "Attention inferiors. You enter territory claimed by the Vex hierarchy. Your presence is documented. Your technology is assessed. Your worth is minimal. Retreat or be harvested." Chen's expression hardened. "Open a channel." "Channel open, Captain." "This is Captain Maya Chen of the Earth Command Ship Harbinger. You are attacking a human colony in violation of interstellar law. Cease your aggression and withdraw immediately." The response came quickly. "Human vessel identified. Your species, categorized as technological primitive. Your colony, claimed for resource extraction. Your population, suitable for biological processing. Your warning, irrelevant." Chen's jaw tightened. "Garcia. Analysis of their weapon systems. Energy signatures unlike anything in our database, Captain. Power levels suggest significantly advanced technology. Your assessment versus our capabilities." Garcia studied his readings. "Difficult to say without seeing them in action, but based on energy output alone, they outclass anything we've encountered previously." Chen nodded. This was why the Harbinger existed, to face threats beyond what humanity publicly acknowledged it could handle. "Let's show them what a technological primitive can do," Chen said. "Tactical. Deploy countermeasures. Full spectrum reveal. The battle for New Terra. Full spectrum reveal." "Aye," Garcia responded, his fingers dancing across the tactical console. The Harbinger transformed. Throughout the vessel, hidden compartments slid open, revealing weapon systems and defensive arrays that had been completely concealed. The ship's energy signature tripled as systems previously dampened came online at full power. On the hull, what had appeared to be standard plating reconfigured, metamorphosing into a complex lattice of quantum shield generators and specialized weapon ports. "Shields at maximum. All weapon systems online," Garcia reported. "The aliens are adjusting their approach. I think we surprised them." "Good," Chen said. "Sometimes shock and awe is the best opening move. Target their lead vessel's propulsion systems. Precision strike only. Targeting. Ready. Fire." From the Harbinger's bow, a beam of concentrated energy, invisible to standard sensors, lanced toward the lead alien ship. It struck with surgical precision, the alien vessel's shields flaring bright blue for a moment before collapsing at the point of impact. The beam continued through, striking the ship's main propulsion array. The effect was immediate. The alien vessel listed to one side, its forward momentum disrupted as emergency systems engage. "Direct hit," Garcia confirmed. "Their main drive is offline." "Captain," Patel called from communications. "They're hailing us." On screen. The view screen shifted to show the interior of the alien vessel. The being that appeared was unlike any species humanity had encountered. It had a segmented exoskeleton that seemed to shimmer with bioluminescence, 4 upper limbs that ended in manipulator appendages, and a head with compound eyes arranged in clusters. "Impossible," the alien's translator rendered its chittering speech. "Your vessel. Reconfigured. Your weapons. Unexpected." Explanation demanded. Chen stood tall, her voice steady. "I am Captain Chen of the Earth Command Ship Harbinger. Your assessment of humanity was premature and incorrect. We have disabled your lead vessel as a demonstration. Withdraw from this system immediately, or we will be forced to take more decisive action." The alien's appendages moved in what might have been agitation. "Your deception noted. Your capabilities reassessed. But your single vessel cannot defeat our fleet. Would you like to test that theory?" Chen asked calmly. "We've disabled one of your ships with a minimal power strike. Consider what follows if we employ our full capabilities." The alien's compound eyes seemed to flicker. "Temporary cessation of hostilities. Discussion required." "Agreed," Chen nodded. Cease all actions against the colony and withdraw your vessels to the outer system. We will meet there to discuss terms. Without waiting for a response, Chen gestured for Paddle to cut the transmission. Are they complying? She asked Garcia. He studied his tactical display. The 4 undamaged ships are holding position. The disabled vessel is attempting repairs. He paused, checking additional readings. The ships orbiting New Terra are not withdrawing, but they've ceased bombardment of the surface. Chen frowned. Not good enough. Lieutenant Paddle reopened the channel. When the alien commander reappeared, Chen didn't wait for them to speak. I instructed you to withdraw all vessels from orbit. Your compliance appears incomplete. Processing resources already collected. The alien responded. Withdrawal requires time. You have 30 minutes to begin withdrawal, Chen stated firmly. After that, we will consider your intentions hostile and respond accordingly. The battle for New Terra. Full spectrum reveal. Garcia responded, his fingers dancing across the tactical console. The Harbinger transformed. Throughout the vessel, hidden compartments slid open, revealing weapon systems and defensive arrays that had been completely concealed. The ship's energy signature tripled as systems previously dampened came online at full power. On the hull, what had appeared to be standard plating reconfigured, metamorphosing into a complex lattice of quantum shield generators and specialized weapon ports. Shields at maximum. All weapon systems online, Garcia reported. The aliens are adjusting their approach. I think we surprised them. Good, Chen said. Sometimes shock and awe is the best opening move. Target their lead vessel's propulsion systems. Precision strike only. Targeting. Ready. Fire. From the Harbinger's bow, a beam of concentrated energy, invisible to standard sensors, lanced toward the lead alien ship. It struck with surgical precision, the alien vessel's shields flaring bright blue for a moment before collapsing at the point of impact. The beam continued through, striking the ship's main propulsion array. The effect was immediate. The alien vessel listed to one side, its forward momentum disrupted as emergency systems engage. Direct hit, Garcia confirmed. Their main drive is offline. Captain, Patel called from communications. They're hailing us. On screen. The view screen shifted to show the interior of the alien vessel. The being that appeared was unlike any species humanity had encountered. It had a segmented exoskeleton that seemed to shimmer with bioluminescence, 4 upper limbs that ended in manipulator appendages, and a head with compound eyes arranged in clusters. Impossible, the alien's translator rendered its chittering speech. Your vessel, reconfigured. Your weapons, unexpected. Explanation demanded. Chen stood tall, her voice steady. I am Captain Chen of the Earth Command Ship Harbinger. Your assessment of humanity was premature and incorrect. We have disabled your lid vessel as a demonstration. Withdraw from this system immediately, or we will be forced to take more decisive action. The alien's appendages moved in what might have been agitation. Your deception noted. Your capabilities reassessed. But your single vessel cannot defeat our fleet. Would you like to test that theory? Chen asked calmly. We've disabled one of your ships with a minimal power strike. Consider what follows if we employ our full capabilities. The alien's compound eyes seemed to flicker. Temporary cessation of hostilities. Discussion required. Agreed. Chen nodded. Cease all actions against the colony and withdraw your vessels to the outer system. We will meet there to discuss terms. Without waiting for a response, Chen gestured for Paddle to cut the transmission. Are they complying? She asked Garcia. He studied his tactical display. The 4 undamaged ships are holding position. The disabled vessel is attempting repairs. He paused, checking additional readings. The ships orbiting New Terra are not withdrawing, but they've ceased bombardment of the surface. Chen frowned. Not good enough. Lieutenant Paddle reopened the channel. When the alien commander reappeared, Chen didn't wait for them to speak. I instructed you to withdraw all vessels from orbit. Your compliance appears incomplete. Processing resources already collected. The alien responded. Withdrawal requires time. You have 30 minutes to begin withdrawal, Chen stated firmly. After that, we will consider your intentions hostile and respond accordingly. Chen considered this. The Harbinger's microdrones might be adaptable to exploit such a vulnerability. There's something else, Larson added. During one of their earlier attacks, our defense forces managed to damage one of their smaller vessels. The response was unusual. Their other ships immediately broke off attack to assist the damaged one. It seemed disproportionately important to them, as if the ship itself was valuable beyond its function. Chen murmured thoughtfully, or perhaps as if it were alive in some sense. That was Dr. Ray's theory, Rivera confirmed. She suggested their ships might have some form of collective consciousness, extensions of the Vex themselves rather than just vessels. Chen's tactical mind immediately grasped the implications. If the Vex ships were in some way alive or considered extensions of their crew, they might prioritize the preservation of damaged vessels over tactical advantage. A potential weakness. We need to get back to the Harbinger, Chen said, standing. I have the beginnings of a plan, but I'll need to coordinate with my tactical team. Captain, Larson caught her arm. What about our people on their ship? We haven't forgotten them, Administrator, Chen assured him. Rescuing them is part of the plan. As they prepared to return to the shuttle, an alarm blared through the bunker. Rivera rushed to a console. Captain, the alien fleet. They're moving. Chen accessed the sensor feed. The Vex vessels were indeed breaking formation, accelerating away from their holding position. Are they leaving the system? Larson asked hopefully. No, Chen replied grimly. They're regrouping for another attack. It seems the ceasefire is over. She activated her communicator. Chen to Harbinger. Emergency pickup at the landing site, and prepare for immediate combat operations. As they hurried toward the shuttle, Chen's mind raced through options. The Harbinger was powerful, but it couldn't be everywhere at once. They needed a strategy that would neutralize the entire Vex fleet simultaneously, while still allowing for the rescue of the captured colonists. Rivera caught up to her at the shuttle's ramp. Captain, before you go, there's one more thing Dr. Rice discovered. The Vex communicate with their ships through some kind of biological interface. She theorized that disrupting this communication might confuse their entire fleet. Chen paused, a plan crystallizing in her mind. That might be exactly what we need. Thank you, Captain. As the shuttle lifted off, Chen watched the ruined colony below. The Vex had made a critical error in dismissing humanity as primitive. Soon, they would learn exactly how costly that mistake would be. Back aboard the Harbinger, Chen hurried to the bridge, where Vaughn was coordinating defensive preparations. Status, Commander. The Vex fleet has formed into 3 attack groups, Vaughn reported. 2 appear to be targeting the colony again, while the 3rd is on an intercept course with us. The large vessel with the human captives remains behind the moon. Chen quickly explained what she had learned on the surface and outlined her plan. It's risky, Captain, Garcia said from Tactical. We'd be deliberately drawing their fire while simultaneously attempting a rescue operation, and trying to disrupt their entire command structure, Vaughn added. That's spreading our resources very thin, which is exactly why it might work, Chen countered. They don't expect us to be capable of all 3 operations simultaneously. Their assessment of human capabilities is fundamentally flawed, and we're going to exploit that. Chen moved to the central tactical display. We'll use the Harbinger as bait, drawing the main attack force away from the colony. Meanwhile, we'll deploy our stealth shuttles for the rescue operation. And most importantly, we'll use our drone swarms to target every ship simultaneously with a specially calibrated electromagnetic pulse designed to disrupt their biological components. The bridge officers studied the plan, expressions shifting from doubt to cautious optimism as they grasped the strategy. It could work, Garcia finally said. But the timing would have to be perfect. Then let's make it perfect, Chen replied. Begin preparations immediately. We attack in 1 hour. As the crew rushed to implement her orders, Chen stood at the viewport, watching the Vex ships maneuver in the distance. They thought they were dealing with a primitive species barely worth noticing, a misconception they would soon regret. The Harbinger hummed with energy as its true power was fully unleashed for the first time. Hidden systems that had never been tested in combat came online. Weapons designed in secret laboratories were armed, and Earth's ultimate warship prepared to show the galaxy exactly what humanity was capable of. All systems ready, Captain, Vaughn reported. Stealth shuttles prepped for launch. Drone swarms programmed with the EM pulse configuration. Chen nodded, taking her place in the command chair. Signal the colony to activate the remaining defensive systems on my mark. Begin countdown to simultaneous operations. The bridge fell silent as the final preparations were completed. On the tactical display, the Vex attack groups moved inexorably closer. They still think they have the advantage, Chen observed. Let's show them how wrong they are. She straightened in her chair, her voice clear and commanding. All hands, battle stations, launch Operation Revelation. Humanity stand. A Harbinger surged forward, its engines pulsing with power as it charged directly toward the main Vex attack group. To any observer, it would have appeared to be a suicidal maneuver. One ship against 7 alien vessels of superior size. They're adjusting formation to surround us, Garcia reported from Tactical. As expected, Captain. Chen nodded, her expression resolute. Good. Let them think they've trapped us. Launch stealth shuttles. From concealed bays along the Harbinger's underside, 3 shuttles detached, their advanced stealth systems rendering them nearly invisible to sensors. They accelerated away from the main engagement, racing toward the moon where the Vex processing vessel lurked. Shuttles away, Vaughn confirmed, maintaining stealth protocols. Now for Phase 2, Chen said. Tactical. Deploy drone swarms, dispersal pattern Omega. Garcia's fingers danced across his console. Drone swarms deploying. Hundreds of microdrones shot from the Harbinger, spreading outward in carefully choreographed patterns. Unlike the drones used against the Cerex, these were specifically programmed to target the unique biological components of the Vex vessels. The Vex are powering weapons, Communications Officer Paddle reported. They're hailing us. On screen. The bridge display showed the same Vex commander from their earlier encounter, its compound eyes gleaming with what might have been anticipation. Human deception noted but ineffective, the translated voice buzzed. Your single vessel cannot defeat our fleet. Surrender for processing or be destroyed. Chen allowed herself a small smile. I'm afraid you've misunderstood the situation again. This isn't a battle. It's a rescue operation. The Vex commander's appendages twitched. Explain. I'd rather demonstrate, Chen replied, cutting the transmission. Tactical. Initiate countermeasures. Full spectrum jamming of their intership communications. Jamming initiated, Garcia confirmed. Drone swarms in position, Vaughn added. Chen leaned forward. Activate EM pulse. Target all Vex vessels simultaneously. Throughout the system, the microdrones attached themselves to the hulls of every Vex ship. Each drone emitted a precisely calibrated electromagnetic pulse designed to disrupt the biological components of the vessels without causing catastrophic failure. The effect was immediate and dramatic. The approaching Vex ships faltered, their coordinated movements becoming erratic. On the tactical display, their energy signatures fluctuated wildly. Direct hits on all targets, Garcia reported, unable to keep the satisfaction from his voice. Their systems are destabilizing. Weapons going offline. Propulsion systems failing. The stealth shuttles report they've reached the processing vessel. Vaughn added, boarding teams deploying now. Chen nodded. Phase 3. Bring us alongside the Vex command vessel. Prepare boarding teams. The Harbinger accelerated toward the largest of the nearby Vex ships, which was now drifting with minimal power. As they closed distance, Garcia continued monitoring the tactical situation. "The EM pulse worked even better than we anticipated," he reported. "The biological components of their ships appear to be in a state similar to neurological shock. They can't coordinate their responses." "Captain," Paddle interrupted, "incoming transmission from the stealth shuttle teams. They've breached the processing vessel and located the human captives. Put it through." The voice of Lieutenant Kondo, leader of the rescue team, came through clearly despite background sounds of weapons fire. "Captain, we've secured access to the detention areas. Approximately 400 colonists located alive. They're in some kind of stasis chambers. We're working to release them safely." "Any resistance?" Chen asked. "Minimal and disorganized. The EM pulse affected this ship too. The Vex seemed confused, unable to mount a coordinated defense. But Captain, we found Dr. Reyes. She's conscious and assisting us." Chen felt a surge of relief. "Tell her well done. Get everyone out as quickly as possible." "There's something else," Kondo added, his voice tightening. "Dr. Reyes says we need to access their central data core. She says it contains vital information about the Vex and why they're targeting human colonies specifically." Chen considered this. "Understood. Secure the captives first, then attempt to access the data if possible. But priority is getting our people out." "Aye, Captain." As the transmission ended, the Harbinger came alongside the Vex command vessel. Unlike Earth ships with their clearly defined airlocks and access points, the Vex vessel's organic structure made conventional boarding challenging. "Scan for the thinnest point in their hull near a life support area," Chen ordered. "Found one," Garcia replied after a moment. "Port side, what appears to be an auxiliary control node." "Perfect. Boarding teams to deployment bay. I'll lead this one personally." Vaughn stepped forward. "Captain, protocol is secondary to the mission, Commander." Chen interrupted firmly. "We need to end this conclusively, and that means understanding who we're fighting. You have the bridge." Minutes later, Chen led a team of 12 security personnel through a precision-cut entryway into the Vex vessel. The interior was unlike any ship humans had encountered before. Corridors formed of what appeared to be hardened tissue rather than metal, pulsing with bioluminescent light. The air was thick with a sweet organic smell. "Life signs?" Chen asked the science officer accompanying them. "Multiple readings ahead," Lieutenant Park replied, studying her scanner. "Moving erratically. I believe they're disoriented from our EM pulse." Chen nodded. "Weapons on stun. We need information, not casualties." They moved through the corridors, encountering minimal resistance. The few Vex they encountered seemed confused, their movements uncoordinated. The team swiftly secured them with specialized restraints designed for unknown physiologies. "According to the scans, the command center should be through here." Park indicated a large membrane-like door ahead. "Breach it," Chen ordered. 2 security officers placed small devices on what appeared to be neural nodes alongside the membrane. The devices pulsed with energy, and the membrane retracted, revealing the Vex command center beyond. Unlike the rigid, functional bridge of a human vessel, the Vex command center was a circular chamber with the alien crew connected to their stations through biological interfaces. At the center stood the commander they had communicated with earlier, its exoskeleton now pulsing with agitated bioluminescence. "Secure the room," Chen ordered. The security team moved swiftly, disabling the few Vex who attempted resistance. Within minutes, they had control of the command center. Chen approached the alien commander, who seemed less disoriented than its crew. "I am Captain Chen of Earth. Your attack on our colony has failed. Your fleet is disabled. It's over." The Vex commander's translator rendered its response. "Temporary setback. The hierarchy spans worlds beyond count. Others will come." "Perhaps," Chen acknowledged. "But they'll face the same resistance. Now, I want answers. Why target human colonies specifically? The aliens' compound eyes fixed on her. Your species. Anomalous. Technological development pattern. Inconsistent. External appearance. Primitive. Hidden capabilities. Advanced. Contradiction requires study. Chen understood then. You attacked us because we confused your categorization system, because our public technology doesn't match our actual capabilities. Correct. Hierarchy requires accurate assessment for efficient resource allocation. Humans demonstrate technological camouflage. Unprecedented. Valuable trait for incorporation. Incorporation. Genetic and technological assimilation. Valuable traits added to hierarchy. The implications were clear. The Vex weren't just taking colonists as slaves, but as genetic material to incorporate into their own species. That will never happen, Chen stated firmly. Humanity isn't a resource for you to harvest. Her communicator chimed. Chen here. Captain, this is Lieutenant Kondo. We've secured all survivors and downloaded the data from their central core. Dr. Rice says it's critical. Information about the entire Vex hierarchy, including their homeworld coordinates and fleet movements. Excellent work. Return to the Harbinger immediately. The Vex commander's appendages twitched. You cannot defeat the hierarchy. We are many. You are few. Chen smiled slightly. Numbers aren't everything. Quality matters too. And humanity has a long history of defeating superior numbers through innovation and determination. She turned to her security team. Place charges on their central computing nodes. Set them to disable, not destroy. We're leaving. As the team prepared to withdraw, Chen faced the Vex commander one last time. When the rest of your hierarchy arrives, tell them this. Earth is protected. We're not the primitive species you thought we were. We've been preparing for threats like you for generations, and we will defend our people, no matter the cost. The commander's translator rendered a final response. Threat noted. Assessment updated. Humans. Dangerous. You have no idea, Chen replied. Back aboard the Harbinger, Chen met with Dr. Ileana Reyes in the ship's medical bay. Despite her ordeal, the xenobiologist was alert and focused, her dark eyes intense as she explained what she had discovered. The Vex aren't just raiders, Captain, Reyes explained, her voice still hoarse from days in captivity. They're systematic colonizers who identify, categorize, and either exploit or assimilate other species based on perceived value. And they decided humans were worth assimilating because our technology confused them, Chen surmised. Reyes nodded. Exactly. Their entire civilization is built on a hierarchy of technological capability. Species that appear more advanced are either avoided or negotiated with. Those that appear less advanced are harvested for resources. But our policy of technological camouflage didn't fit their system, Chen said. It fascinated them, Reyes confirmed. A species that deliberately appears less advanced than it actually is. That's a trait they wanted to incorporate into their own genetic structure. Chen frowned. The data you recovered, does it tell us how extensive their territory is? Reyes pulled up information on a nearby display. Substantial, but not as vast as they implied. They control approximately 20 star systems in a region about 60 light-years from here. This wasn't a full invasion force. It was an assessment and harvesting team. And now they'll report back about Earth's true capabilities. Most likely, Reyes agreed. Though with their fleet disabled and their command structure disrupted, it may take time for that information to reach their homeworld. Chen considered this. Time we can use to prepare. Earth Command needs to know everything about the Vex. There's one more thing, Reyes added hesitantly. The data indicates they've encountered other species who practice technological camouflage. Not many, but a few. And those species are marked with a special designation that roughly translates to worthy adversaries. Meaning? Meaning the Vex might actually respect Earth now. They value cunning and strategic thinking. Our defense of New Terra demonstrated both. Chen pondered this possibility. So they might return not as invaders, but as potential allies. Rice finished. It's not certain, but it's possible. Commander Vaughn entered the medical bay, datapad in hand. Captain, status report. All Vex vessels have been neutralized. The charges placed on their command ship successfully disabled their control systems. The colony is secure, and we've begun transferring the rescued captives down to the surface. Casualties. Minimal on our side. 3 injured during the boarding operation, none critical. As for the Vex, Vaughn paused. We've taken approximately 50 captives. The rest remain aboard their vessels, which are now on minimal life support. Chen nodded. Prepare a message for Earth Command. Full situation report, including Dr. Ray's findings. Request immediate reinforcements to secure the new Terra system and technical teams to examine the Vex vessels. Already done, Captain, Vaughn replied with a slight smile. I took the liberty of anticipating your orders. Well done, Commander. Chen turned back to Reyes. Doctor, I'll need a comprehensive report on the Vex, biology, technology, social structure, everything you've learned. I'll have it ready within the hour, Rice promised. Chen left the medical bay and made her way to the bridge. The view screen showed the disabled Vex fleet drifting in space, once threatening vessels now powerless. In the distance, New Terra gleamed against the darkness, still bearing the scars of the attack, but now secure under the Harbinger's protection. Captain on the bridge, Patil announced as Chen entered. Status of the colony? She asked, taking her seat. Administrator Larson reports they've begun recovery operations, Patil replied. With the immediate threat neutralized, they're focusing on rebuilding essential infrastructure. Chen nodded, feeling the weight of command settle on her shoulders, not as a burden, but as a responsibility fulfilled. Send a message to Larson. Tell him Earth won't abandon New Terra. A Harbinger will remain until reinforcements arrive, and will provide whatever assistance they need. Yes, Captain. Chen turned to the tactical station. Commander Han, analysis of our performance against the Vex. Han looked up from his console. The Harbinger performed beyond expectations, Captain. All systems functioned at or above design parameters. The microdrones were particularly effective against their biomechanical technology. And the lessons learned. Han considered this. Their technology is advanced, but not insurmountably so. Their greatest advantage was their unified biological connection to their ships, which became their greatest weakness when we disrupted it. Exactly, Chen agreed. They categorized us based on superficial assessments and paid the price for their arrogance. She stood and moved to the viewport, gazing out at the stars. For generations, humanity has hidden its true capabilities, appearing less advanced than we actually are. Today, that strategy saved thousands of lives. Vaughn joined her at the viewport and revealed our hand to a potential adversary. Maybe, Chen acknowledged. Or maybe we've earned the respect of a species that values cunning and strategic thinking. Either way, the galaxy now knows that humanity isn't the primitive civilization they thought we were. And if the Vex return with a larger force? Vaughn asked quietly. Chen's expression hardened with determination. Then they'll find Earth ready. We've been preparing for threats like the Vex for generations. The Harbinger isn't our only surprise. As if on cue, a communication chime sounded from the main console. Captain, Patil called. Incoming transmission from Earth Command. Priority 1. On screen. The view screen shifted to show Admiral Zhou, Commander of Earth's Defense Forces. Captain Chen, we've received your preliminary report. Reinforcements are already en route. 3 battle cruisers and a science vessel. They should arrive within 36 hours. Thank you, Admiral. Zhao's stern features softened slightly. The Harbinger performed admirably, Captain. Your actions saved New Terra and provided invaluable intelligence about a significant new species. We were just doing our job, Admiral. Nevertheless, well done. Zhao paused, his expression growing more serious. There's more. Based on the data you transmitted about the Vex hierarchy, we're activating Protocol Sentinel. All Earth colonies are being placed on heightened alert, and additional ships from our reserve fleet are being commissioned. Chen understood the implications. Protocol Sentinel was the full-scale deployment of Earth's hidden defensive capabilities, ships, weapons, and defensive systems that had been developed in secret over decades. The days of hiding our true capabilities may be coming to an end, Zhao continued. If the Vex are as extensive as Dr. Rai's data suggests, humanity needs to be prepared for wider contact. I agree, Admiral. Once the reinforcements arrive, you're to escort the Vex prisoners back to Earth for further study and potential diplomatic contact. The Harbinger has made quite an impression. We want that impression to continue with formal discussions. Understood, sir. As the transmission ended, Chen turned back to her crew. They had performed beyond all expectations, revealing the true strengths of humanity when faced with a superior force. Set a course back to the colony, she ordered. We have work to do before the reinforcements arrive. As the Harbinger moved gracefully through space, Chen reflected on what they had accomplished. They had faced an advanced alien force, and not only survived but prevailed. They had rescued hundreds of colonists given up for lost. And perhaps most importantly, they had demonstrated that humanity was not to be underestimated. The Vex had categorized humans as primitives unworthy of respect. In doing so, they had made a critical error, one that species throughout the galaxy would now think twice about repeating. Earth's ultimate warship had arrived when needed most, and in doing so, had changed everything. The stars seemed brighter somehow as the Harbinger continued its vigilant watch over the colony it had saved, a silent guardian whose true power had finally been revealed. Behind them, the disabled Vex fleet drifted, a testament to what happens when humanity is pushed too far. And ahead, the future stretched out among the stars. Uncertain, perhaps dangerous, but full of possibilities. Humanity had announced its presence to the galaxy in unmistakable terms. Whatever came next, they would face it not as the primitive species others believed them to be, but as what they truly were: resourceful, determined, and far more advanced than they appeared. The time for hiding was over. Earth's flagship had answered the call, and the galaxy would never be the same.